So welcome to our next Catena Cast. It's again a beautiful day, so I've been allowed out of the office and we're here at the Nottinghamshire Golf and Country Club. Beautiful venue just outside Nottinghamshire. So the Nottinghamshire are members of the Catena network, as is my next guest, Adrian Peck of Speaking.
Good morning, Claire.
Here he is. Good morning.
Nice to see you.
And
you okay?
you, yeah.
Ah.
Lovely to see you. Shall we go in?
Yeah, let's go in.
Yeah. So Adrian, thanks so much for joining us today for
You're welcome.
This Catena Cast. Now you've been a Catena member for 4 years now?
4 years, yes.
Yes, so one of the founder members, as it were. And your business is Head in Speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you do, but tell everybody else what you do.
Head in Speaking is all about helping people that have a real fear of getting on stage and talking in front of crowds. So we mainly work with entrepreneurs that need to sell their goods and services from stage. We work with senior management that need to probably speak to sales teams, to motivate sales teams, to boost morale within sales teams. And we work with leaders that want to learn some really good skills to be able to put their message across really powerfully. But what we do is we work around the mindset of how to do a presentation. So the very first thing that we work on is mindset. Now, the reason we do that is because my background is in sports psychology.
Oh, right.
Okay, so I've worked with elite athletes, Olympic medalists, world medalists, since about 2009 now. And of course, it's all about mindset. It's all about getting yourself into the right state of mind to be able to do a performance. And getting on stage doing a performance, doing competitive sport is exactly the same.
So I get nervous before making a presentation. I got nervous before we actually sat here. It's probably because I thought I was going to have to pick up the barbell from you. But so dealing with the nerves that I would have before making a presentation, is that the same as Usain Bolt may have before he takes off in the Olympic Games?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And you talk to any competitive sports person and anybody that needs to perform at some level, be it i.e. presentation, there'll always be nerves there because you'll always get an adrenaline rush. That will always be there and you'll never be able to stop that. But what you can do is you can control it. So it's no different for anybody else, and it's natural to have that adrenaline rush. It's natural to be nervous before a presentation.
So I guess the trick is take the boost from the adrenaline and not suppress that by trying to manage your nerves too much. So there's a very fine line.
Yeah, absolutely there is. Yeah, because you need that nerves. Nerves gives you the edge. Even in a presentation, nerves will give you the edge. So it's good to have those nerves. It's just getting them to work for you and not against you.
So how do you, again, on the other side of the scale, then offset? I won't use complacency, but if I'm making the same presentation on a monthly basis and I'm confident about what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about as a first, but how do I deal with the fact that maybe I'm not nervous because I feel comfortable in what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I go through the same problem, because all my workshops are exactly the same. The content is the same, I deliver it in exactly the same way. But what's different is my audience. Even though it's not my first time, it's their first time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, and it's nothing to do with me as a presenter, it's about my audience, and it's about me performing for my audience. So yes, it might be my 200th time, but it's their first time.
No, I absolutely
Yes.
get that, and that's I guess what I'm trying to achieve with the Catena network is that we're trying to make people who come to our events and connecting with people, they feel comfortable, and it's up to me to do the best, to provide the best hospitality,
Absolutely,
networking,
yes.
whatever
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I can do.
And your audience is always different. So the environment will always be different. Questions will always be different. I mean, my workshops, I've done hundreds of these workshops now, and the questions are always different. There's no two workshops that are the same, ever.
So what is
Yeah.
the most outlandish, shall we say, question then that you've been asked on your workshops?
I've never been asked an outlandish question.
Okay, so let me pose this again. What's the most difficult question you would have been asked if you're getting asked different questions?
Nothing really springs to mind, and the reason I say that is because I'm so experienced in speaking, and I've got a lot wrong before it's gone right, and a lot has gone wrong before it's gone right.
So you're able to tap into your experience.
Yeah, I'm able to tap into the experiences of when I was a rookie presenter and I didn't get anything right, everything went wrong, the audio visual probably didn't work, I probably forgot what to say, maybe it was heckling from the audience, all those kind of things. So I've really honed in on these skills, and what I do is I do what a lot of athletes actually do, and that is I work out what could go wrong and then what will I do if it happens.
Damage limitation.
Damage limitation. So if anything does happen, I know how to deal with it straight away.
So yes, you have to experience those.
You have to, yes, you've got to get it wrong to get it right.
So you feel very comfortable in calling yourself an expert now?
Absolutely, an expert in getting things wrong, absolutely, yes.
No, that's not what I meant.
But yes, that's what has to happen, that's how you learn, that's where all my learnings have come from, is the fact that they don't go right. And here's the thing, there's no such thing as a perfect presenter, there's no such thing as a perfect presentation. They don't exist. They don't exist. And I think a lot of people put themselves under pressure because they're trying to get that perfect presentation, or they're trying to get that perfect performance. And you put yourself under a lot of pressure if you try to do that. So what I say to people is, you'll never get it perfect, so don't aim for perfection, aim for excellence.
So who do you admire that as a presenter?
Who do I admire as a presenter? I think there's quite a few. Honestly, there's Tony Robbins from America, the life coach from America. He's an amazing presenter, he really is. He's what we call a performer. He loves to get out there on stage, and he loves coaching people, and he loves helping people. Now, I'm not like that at all. I'm more of a nurturing kind of presenter. So I can get an emotional contact with my audience very, very, very quickly through that nurturing nature. And when you're doing presentations, particularly people who have a real fear, they like that nurturing, handheld kind of approach. But that's not what Tony Robbins is all about. He's very much there to just get in there and do it kind of thing. So I do admire him a lot. I admire what he's achieved as a presenter. I think it's amazing to go on stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people and coach an individual and get that individual to do a breakthrough in front of all those people. And what I admire about that is it's all about that individual at that moment in time. He forgets there's that audience there, and he just focuses on that individual.
Fascinating. So I want to take you back then a little way. You said that you were a sports psychologist. How did that come about?
Well, my background is actually as a competitive sportsman.
What did you do?
I was a competitive 400 metre runner for about 12 years. And I ran to quite high standard. I achieved county championships, county records, Midland championships, Midland records. So I understood, I knew what it was like to compete at a real high level, and to deal, again, we're going back to nerves again, and to deal with those nerves so I could perform when that gun went. And after about 12 years, I lost a lot of confidence in the sport, and I went from winning to losing very, very quickly. And none of us could work out what was happening. And it was a confidence issue, it was a self-esteem issue. But there was nobody around back then that did what I do. Does that make sense?
Yes, because sports psychology, there is so much in sport now that I think business can learn from, and maybe that's something that we can move on to. But the emphasis and impact of sports psychologists, I guess, is really in the last 10 years or so?
Yeah, absolutely. And there was nobody around back then that could help me. So I dropped out of the sport. Now, I have full belief that if there was somebody around then that could help me, I'd have stayed in the sport. But that didn't happen. So I went into sports psychology to help people that were probably going through what I was going through at that moment in time, to help keep them into the sport and keep them motivated. And that's how it all came about.
So what do you do?
What do I do? It depends on the individual. It depends on whether they've got a negative self-talk going off inside. Again, this is what presenters do before they go on stage. Do they need to strengthen their visualization processes? Do they need to do things like control the nerves? Do they need to breathe properly? All this. It depends on what that individual needs at that moment in time.
And can you share with us any stars that you've worked with?
Unfortunately, I can't know because I haven't
Okay.
got their permission
Client
to do that.
confidentiality, I
Client
completely
confidential.
understand.
But they are Olympic medalists and they are world medalists as well.
Wow. And do you feel that you've contributed there as a slice of that
Yeah,
medal? That
absolutely. And sometimes people don't want psychology as such. They just want somebody with empathy that understands what they're going through. And sometimes just venting, just airing their views is all that people want, is all that sports people want. Just somebody they can just sit with and talk, that understands what it is that they're going through, and maybe offer some tips and techniques that can help them.
So I guess we have business coaches, we have counsellors in relationship issues. Are you all doing the same kind of thing but to different people in different ways?
Yeah, and I think it's all about empathy. Because my background is in sport, I know what a sports person is going through before they do their competition. So instantly there's empathy, and I know what's going off inside of them, probably before they do, when they come and speak to me. I know what's going through their mind. And again, it transfers into the presentation world really, really, really well.
And do you use those skills yourself
Yes.
in business, not just in
Yes.
presentations, but in business? I think
Yes.
a lot of business owners, particularly in startups, will get those moments when you think, gosh, this is really hard, and where's the money coming from? And I've taken 6 steps back, but it feels 6 steps forward, but it feels like 10 back.
Yes.
What would you do? You work with business people?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about having a clearer vision as you can, as in what it is that you want to achieve, and keeping your faith. And what I mean by that is, even when things aren't going quite right, or maybe there's self-doubt that's kicking in, you know what it is that you want to achieve. And it's my point of view that when you want something and you want it badly enough, the universe will send you challenges to see if you really want it or not.
That's an interesting
Okay.
concept, because
And
sometimes
it
you
will
may
help,
feel
yes.
that you are getting a message that maybe you shouldn't be doing this
Yes.
because there is too much going against you.
Yes.
So it is just a mindset.
Yeah, absolutely it is, yeah. And here's the thing, it's never a smooth ride, and no matter what you do in business, it's never a smooth ride. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're self-employed, whether you're employed, it's never a smooth ride. There's always something that will get in the way. But it's all about being able to break through those barriers and then achieving what it is that you want to achieve.
So Adrian, what are your business goals now moving forward?
Well, the next stage with the Head in Speaking is we're going to set up a Head in Speaking Academy.
Right.
Now, what that involves is people that I've worked with in the past, people that have been on the workshops. I'm going to set up an academy that once a month, every other month, we'll meet up. Somebody will be allowed to do a talk, somebody that's been on the course already. So we'll allow them to do a 20-minute talk.
So actually putting in practice
what they've learned. They'll have an audience there, okay, so it'll all be set up for them. And then either myself or somebody from the audience will give them feedback on their performance. If nobody wants to do a talk, that's fine. I'll do the talk, and then I'll cover something that was in the workshop.
I was going to say, do we give you feedback then?
Yeah, absolutely. You can give me feedback, absolutely, because that's how I grow, is people giving me feedback.
So you're
Yes.
still encouraging feedback from people?
Oh,
on
absolutely,
what you
yeah,
do?
yeah. That's why we send out forms afterwards, after the workshops, to ask us what we can do to improve the experience for them. Yeah, so we're learning all the time, and I'm a very much a self-analyst kind of person. So I'm always watching myself on video. How can I improve this? How could I say that better? How could I use my body language better? So I'm always doing that. So I'm always striving to improve.
I will be checking the number of views on this YouTube then from this Catena Cast, and if there's a lot of them, I'll know it's just you and we haven't got a huge
Absolutely,
audience.
it will be.
I should say, earlier on I mentioned that we were here at the Nottinghamshire Golf and Country Club, which is beautiful. The design is fabulous, and you hold a lot of your
I do,
seminars
yes.
and
I do.
training camps
Yes.
here.
Yes, I like to give people an experience. I like to get away from that corporate feel that a lot of places have got. With the country club, it's amazing views. The environment is fantastic. The environment, the atmosphere, it's all brilliant. So it relaxes people down straight away.
Yes, it takes you out of your usual
Yes, it does.
zone, really.
It takes you out of your comfort zone because you're in a different environment. However, it's a nice, calm relaxed environment, and that's what I love about it.
Do you play golf yourself?
No, I don't, unfortunately, but I'm sure that'll be a goal at some point.
Is it?
Yes,
yeah,
it
so
will
you're
be,
going
yes.
back to your sporting roots.
I'll go
then.
back to my sporting roots and learn something new for a change. So yeah, I like to give people a nice experience, a really good experience, because presenting isn't easy. No matter how experienced you are, it's not easy. So to get the environment right really does add on to doing a good presentation.
So what do you think are the traits of a good presenter? I'm thinking somebody who's sort of larger than life and sort of very outgoing and ebullient.
Yes.
What's your feelings on that?
It's all about authenticity, and it's all about how you are as an individual. Going back to what I said earlier on about Tony Robbins, he's what you call a performer. He loves that big stage, performing to all those people. I'm not a performer. I'm more of a nurturing kind of trainer. And I think it's from the fact actually that I'm an introvert as well.
Are you?
Yes, I am. And a lot of people are very surprised when I tell them that. I am your classic introvert.
That's
Okay.
really surprising, because you do presentations, you train presentations, you go to lots and lots of networking events, and I would have thought an introvert was somebody who's looking to hide away.
Well, an introvert, it's all about energy. When an introvert wants to recharge their batteries, they just like to spend time on their own. Okay, and extroverts they're the opposite. When they want to recharge their batteries, they like to spend time with people. But an introvert is no shyer than an extrovert when it comes to presenting. The nerves will be exactly the same for introverts and extroverts. But what you will find is, before I do a talk at a networking group, you will not see me. You will not see me in the room, because I like to spend time away on my own to focus, charge my batteries, so when I come into that room, to that audience, then I can do a very good performance. If I spent time with the audience before I did a performance, my batteries will be depleted. So I have to be very careful how I recharge my energies.
Wow, that's interesting. That's fascinating. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing
welcome.
that with us. That's really been very interesting. We're going to put your contact details at the bottom of the YouTube page, so that people can get in touch with you should they want. Your website, your contact details, and we look forward to seeing you at future Catena events.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully sharing some more of your knowledge.
Thank you very much for your time.
That's it for today's Catena Cast, and we're looking forward to the next one already. Thank you for watching us.